My name is Mike Mahoney. I'm a school bus driver here for Roberts, Hawaii. And a little bit about my opinion of the fire and what I saw during that time. You can see what started the fire was down power lines from the wind. I mean, we don't get 80-mile-an-hour winds here very often, but when you do, you better be careful because it was in August. All the fields were dry. It had rained a lot the winter before, so the grass was nice and tall, and nobody bothered to go mow the grass down. And just that would have stopped the town from burning down. Started the fire going, and I think in a matter of just an hour's time, the town was gone from the wind. And it was pretty startling. Nobody could believe it. So 2 days later, we were asked to come out and evacuate the tourists from Kaanapali resorts. And we came with 13 buses, and we picked up people and their luggage and took them to the airport. And they were just glad to get out because they had no water, no power. So, you know, I mean, there's always a blame game afterwards what happened. I know Hawaiian Electric is paying a big price. I think they came to some type of a settlement, you know, with everybody that lost their homes and lost their lives, and 101, 102 people died in a matter of like 1 hour. It's incredible. So no, it was really a tragedy. And then we had where I live up in Kula, we had over 100 homes burned up there from the wind and the fire that started from down power lines. So yeah, but I see light at the end of the tunnel. They're rebuilding. They won't be able to make it look like it did before because there's building codes now and there's parking regulations, and that's a good thing because people need a place to park. Part of the problem that people couldn't get out of town was the congestion. Too many cars on too small roads, and they just burned up in their cars, you know. But they'll make it better. It'll come back. You know, people will always come to Maui. Yeah, there was a problem with there's no water in some of the fire hydrants, so the firefighters couldn't even fight the fire. They lost fire trucks during the wildfire. I mean, they were there to fight it, and the fire hydrants were dry because it didn't get turned on. I know the guy that was in charge, he wasn't even on the island. He was in Oahu when it happened. I think he resigned. I don't know what his name is. But, yeah, you got to be ready. Just like same thing in California. It's almost exactly the same thing. You know, no water in the fire hydrants. So, anyway, lesson learned, and hopefully they go forward and make things better. And I see a lot of going around. I see a lot of the crews going around putting up new poles, taking old ones out, putting up new ones. So that's a good thing. It's too bad it had to take something like this to, I don't know, you drive through there and it's very weird. Some gas stations are still there. It didn't burn. They were made out of metal. They had metal on the outside. You know, just the construction, I guess, and what the roofs were made out of. You know, I'm from Southern California, so I'm used to wildfires. We have a lot of them in Southern California. And, you know, a lot of people that live in the canyons and stuff where there's wildfire damage, they put red tile roofs, you know, with stucco on the outside, no exposed wood, and they survive a lot of fires. But in a wildfire like this where the wind's blowing that hard, the wind will blow the embers like a mile ahead of the actual big fire. So it just keeps starting new little fires ahead of it. I mean, only what I've seen in the news. I haven't been over there to look at it. I lived right there for most of my life, and I know a lot of people that lived in Pacific Palisades that don't have their homes anymore. But it was just I don't know what started that fire, but the homes were close together, and the wind was blowing really bad, really dry conditions. In Southern California, they have something called the Santa Ana winds, where the winds blow out of the desert offshore. They actually blow from the desert offshore. They're hot, dry winds, and that's what causes a lot of the fires. Yeah. No water. They had no water in their fire hydrants because the reservoirs that were supposed to supply the water for these things were dry. I think they were working on some of them, but they've been working on them for years, and they never finished, so they're empty, so there's no water. Another situation was somebody made a big mistake. Yeah.